Hello, and welcome back to Nerds and Stuff. My name is Martin Baker, your host and groundskeeper for our conclusion of our Bluebeard Bride one-shot. Before we get into the final rooms of our horror game, I was like, I don't know what to call this. No, it's horror game. I'm going to have my players introduce themselves and their sister.
My name is Abby Newell, and I've been playing the Animus.
I'm Jenny Ottaway, and I've been playing the Mother.
I'm Tiffini Briscoe, and I'm playing the Virgin.
All right. Who is the ring?
That'd be
Deal.
me.
Deal. So,
I didn't like that.
So,
Mother has
just as an update, the bride currently has 2 tokens of faithfulness, 2 tokens of disloyalty, and everybody's getting pretty close to shattering.
I think we all have 3, don't we?
I think she's got 4.
Yeah, so, and on the 5th you do shatter, so. Yep. So, we are very much nearing the conclusion of this game, where we will finish it out and see what happens to end our fateful story. So, Mother, you currently are standing outside of the sewing room.
Yeah, that's
with a ring of keys in your hand.
Well, after everything that we, or the bride, has been through tonight, I think the key that sticks out to me the most is just, it's actually kind of simple and plain. It's bigger though, and it's like that brass that's definitely been aged, so it looks like it could hopefully belong to like a bedroom or a kitchen or something. I realize that's not where we're gonna go.
Something that doesn't have people.
It says
kids.
bedroom on it.
Yeah,
please.
Says bedroom on it. No scary things in there. Please don't murder me, Martin. All of that.
And then she just went to bed.
Yeah.
Weird enough.
Yeah. The end.
But no, it's one of the bigger keys on there. It's not the biggest, and it's a simple, classic old key.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy.
Is it pretty worn down, or is it not as much?
It looks like it's been used a lot.
Okay, deal. So as you're kind of winding down, you're like, okay, well, the second story hasn't done much, right? We're going to head downstairs, main level, and maybe try and find the bedroom there. And so you guys head down. Sorry, you guys. First of all, you girls. Second of all, the bride.
Yeah, we've been doing it too.
The bride heads down the stairs. She retraces her steps, almost thinking that she's going to find her way to the grand entrance, the double doors, and kind of retrace her steps from there and maybe pick a different direction. But you're thoroughly lost in this mansion. It never occurred to you prior to your wedding or during the day of your wedding to get a tour or anything like that. And it still occurs to you that you haven't seen anyone wandering the halls. You've only seen people in the rooms. As you're walking along, you're holding this key, and does it feel cold to the touch, or is it warm to the touch?
It's like room temperature.
Is it cold to the touch or warm to the touch? I'm separating between 2 rooms.
Probably cold.
Okay, so as you're walking down this hall, you turn a corner and you see this magnificent, thick wooden door. It has brass lining. It's kind of reinforced almost. It looks like a heavy door, and you hear some sounds behind it. It almost sounds like someone softly talking. So you're like, okay, well, maybe this person might be able to give me directions. You put the key in, the room beckons you, you twist the key, the door opens, you enter the room, and the door shuts behind you. Now, as you enter this room, I'm just going to use descriptions, and we'll kind of go from there. You open the door, and it leads to a short staircase leading down into a kitchen lined with moldy, dried herbs. The kitchen itself is a broad stone room with an uneven stone floor. An ancient metal oven is next to the fireplace, which is barely smoking from a fire stoked hours ago. A cold stew pot suspended from a hook nearby. A rotund man is poorly fitting a white apron and a chef hat, dozes in a chair at the central table. He rocks in his chair softly. A cleaver tied to his belt scrapes against the floor. He is deeply asleep, drool sliding past his cracked lips. Atop the table, dozens of meat pies filled with, piled up one atop another, each decorated with small pastry hearts or flowers. They smell like meat pies the bride's mother made for special occasions.
I don't like.
I don't like any of this. Cleaver scraping the ground.
But
I loved Mom's meat
right,
pies.
the
Yes,
familiarity.
but now I'm thinking of Sweeney Todd. Well, I'm starving, so we're gonna go investigate.
It has been such a long day.
Spooky meat pies.
A giant meat pie and several smaller ones lay heavy on the kitchen table. Something wriggles underneath the crust of a large pie, like fingers attempting to pry open a package. I don't think you guys are going to follow up on this one.
Ew.
What do you do?
I walk away from the meat pie.
I'm not that hungry.
What should we do?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm gonna go investigate the. You said there was a soup.
Yeah, so there's a soup pot, or stew pot, the chef, there's an oven, and meat pies, all very interesting, eye-catching. You're investigating the stew pot?
Yep.
The stew pot lies cold. I'm sorry, the stew lies cold in the pot, forgotten for what seems like days.
No, gross.
A heavy ladle is frozen in a thick layer of congealed fat resting atop the liquid, obscuring its contents.
Nope.
You're just going around, nah, fuck that.
Nah, fuck that.
Well, let's try door number 3. Let's go see if we can stoke the fire any.
Deal. As you approach the fireplace, laden with brass metal, this is the oven, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah. So, you warm your hands by it.
Uh-huh.
This room is very cold.
Uh-huh.
It's drafty. You hear a thud from within the shut door of the furnace.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear a soft gasp. Help me.
Well, I can't ignore that. So I am very...
I like how Feef just audibly sighed. You should check out the meat pie.
What's near the stove? Are there spoons hanging or anything I can pick up in case this thing
off to the side is a preparation table with some cast iron pots and stuff like that. To the right of you is the open kind of fire pit with the stew pot hanging.
We're just taking stock while someone just yelled help. I open up the...
I was gonna go grab the pot before I opened
understand
it.
that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, so you open it and just heat washes over you.
They
And
gotta cure the meat before they make skin suits.
thank you and also no. That's my job.
I'm the groundskeeper now. No, please keep going. You're doing
So
wonderful.
you open and just waves of heat strike you, and it's infinitely black inside this oven. As you peer in, your eyes drying out with the heat, you see nothing. You hear nothing. You hear deeper, much deeper in the furnace.
We're not going in there.
Please help.
We're not going in there. We are not going into the...
Is there
No!
anything we can grab to
Is there a fire?
Yeah.
There's stuff around. You can grab something.
Or...
What you tell me what you'd like to grab to
I'm just
to do
gonna
stuff.
say hello.
Could we grab one of the fire stoker?
Yeah. So you reach over, you grab a fire stoker, and you're reaching it in there.
Mm-hmm.
If you go any deeper than your wrist past the door, you're probably going to start burning
Okay.
yourself because the heat is just untenable.
Unbearable.
Yeah. How
I'm just gonna call out to it.
you hear no, you coming from behind you, you risk waking the chef or the cook if you speak too loudly. If that's a risk that you're willing to take, then we can go that route.
Is that a risk that we're willing to take?
I don't think so. I mean, someone had to put that thing in the oven.
True.
I want to help this thing.
Can I,
Please.
Can I go pick up one of the small meat pies and just throw it in there, hoping it makes it to her? I just want her to realize the door's open. I don't know what else to do, and we're not walking in.
So you have the fire stick,
True.
fire poker.
Can I reach?
Do you push it in?
Yeah. Yep.
So you're gonna take 1 trauma from the burn.
Okay.
For sure. And you're gonna pass the ring.
Yeah. Who wants it? Who would like it? Okay.
As you're reaching in,
Don't
you feel
touch
your
hot
skin
stoves.
drying and cracking, and you feel something grab hold of this fire stick, of this fire poker.
Mm-hmm.
And as you go to pull back, it yanks really hard.
Let go.
Okay, well, I'm going to try one more time
Okay?
to pull out, and if it goes to pull back in, I'm letting go.
Okay. So as you kind of really give it a good yank, you pull back the fire poker, and it has a soft, charred teddy bear stuck on the hook.
Okay. How do we feel about this?
The
Sad.
Come on. He's a hunter. Why doesn't he eat his game?
Why does he gotta eat all these kids? Okay. We don't know that. This cook, he doesn't... You think he's bringing in... He isn't responsible for any of the cooking.
True.
Let's go wake him up.
The cook?
Yeah.
And do what?
Confront him. Isn't that what you would do?
So
Yes.
So as you pull back the bear, what do you do?
Well, I'm gonna keep that fire
Okay.
stoker in my hand.
Okay.
For sure. Is the teddy bear like hot to the touch? I would assume.
Yeah, and it's like slightly burnt. It looks like it's very warm. It's almost that kind of like warm where like it's laundry out of the dryer where you almost want to like hug it.
Is the stove still on? I take it.
It's not. There's no fire as far as you can tell.
Okay.
But the heat is dangerous.
Okay.
I would like to investigate the teddy bear.
Okay.
Whose item is this?
Okay. You definitely get a sense that it is a child's, and it's dearly beloved to that child, and it would belong to the child's voice that you hear in the oven.
Can we discuss what other question, or is it just...
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I'm thinking either what memories does this item hold, or why did Bluebeard keep this
Yeah, I
item?
was thinking why did, but
Probably-
both of them are good.
I like, why did Bluebeard keep this
Okay.
item?
I would like to ask, why did Bluebeard keep this item?
Okay. So, as you're looking down at this bear, holding it, feeling the warmth, you just hear the voice in the oven say, "Quiet. You don't want to wake him."
Like who? The cook?
The cook.
I'm still answering your question through dialogue.
Yes.
We're gonna have to talk a
you're
little bit
good.
more. Yeah. So you definitely get a sense that Bluebeard does not keep this item.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Creepy cook does.
yeah, the child definitely keeps it, and you get a sense that this is the only thing. You almost feel like when you were a kid, and you had this one thing that was important to you as a child, because your family was poor, you had nothing. But maybe you had a teddy bear or a blanket or something, a doll, that was the most important thing in your life to you. And no matter how bad life got, this item was your beacon of hope that tomorrow would be better, or that you would help pass the time.
Okay, so I'm going to, as quietly as I can, because I do not want to wake the cook, I want to try to ask the child if there's any way that they know I can help them.
Okay. So you kind of lean in. How can I help you? And you hear grumbling from behind you. And you hear the scraping of the cleaver dragging across the stone floor. He said, "Don't wake him, or he will be so mad. That's why I'm hiding in here. That's why we're all hiding in here."
Okay. So the kid does not want to come out of that oven.
How many of you are hiding in there?
You just hear several other voices say, "Shh." There's at least 4.
Okay. I'm gonna
And
shut.
then you kind of hear 2 voices. One says, "Ask him to turn off the heat." And the other one says, "No."
I want to shut the oven door
Okay.
if I can. Really good. I think we could wake him up and ask him, as the lady of the house, that it's too warm, and we could turn off the heat.
Yeah?
What do you think?
I'm not afraid of the cook.
Okay.
I'm the lady of this house.
Okay. I'm gonna go over and gently wake him up. Not like,
Okay.
"Hey, Mr. Cook."
Okay.
It's gonna be very gentle, like a, "Hey."
Yeah. So he kind of catches your eyes and looks at you and sees you're in a bloody wedding dress and gives you a good look over. You've had a day. And he just kind of startles and starts to clean himself up a little bit. And he kind of wipes away the drool. And he looks, "Yes?
Hi, nice to meet you, for one.
Gregory.
Gregory, nice
Yes.
to meet you.
And your name? Are you the bride?"
Yes.
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 It's such a pleasure to meet you. I hope you enjoyed dinner at the wedding.
Thank
I
you, I
cooked it
did.
myself,
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if we could turn down the heat a little bit in here.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Well, we got stuff cooking for tomorrow's feast as well.
Well, my husband, he's out of town, so we don't have to really worry about a feast as much as we would have otherwise.
Yeah, okay. You want something small for food tomorrow? I mean, I've prepared quite a bit. But if you want, okay, I'll turn off the oven. And he goes over and he starts turning dials and extinguishes the fire to the oven essentially. And he goes over to the stew and kind of stirs it and picks up and takes this spoon.
Give that day old stew.
Care for some stew?
Oh, no, I'm stuffed from the feast. It was so good.
He looks quite heartbroken.
I don't want to take the stew,
I
guys.
don't want to take the stew either.
I thought you said you enjoyed my cooking.
Oh, we do. It's just
Yeah.
we ate so much of it at the feast.
I am hungry.
Do you really want day old stew?
It's my special recipe.
I don't want to be hungry, but
I'll take a bowl of the stew.
Okay. He
does not
kind of
mean we're
reaches
gonna
up
start
and
eating
pours
it
a
yet.
bowl and he starts scooping it and he hands it to you and it's like it's very creamy and cloudy and it's got vegetables and there's nothing suspicious about it at first glance.
Can I investigate it as
Yep.
a mysterious object?
Sure.
Can I ask what about this item is odd or uncanny?
Yeah. He stares at you, grinning, waiting for you to take a sip. He thinks something exciting will happen to you when you take a drink or take some of the stew.
Can I ask, can stew hold memories? If it's made of children, it can. Yep, I'm gonna ask this question. What memories does this item hold?
So, right. So he basically gestures it for a stool. You sit down, you have this bowl of stew, and he looks and he's just kind of like leaning over. He's taken the time to unbutton a button of his shirt and he's leaning over and he goes, "This stew's my famous recipe. when I made it for a young lady much like yourself, well, she later became my wife. You can tell that he has delusions that when you drink this stew, you will fall in love with him as well. Have some, please.
I really don't.
I take a spoonful.
This is a bad idea.
Just in the dress.
okay.
It's already ruined.
Are you gonna eat it?
I'm gonna try to caress the horror here.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
taking a bite would be.
yeah, or saying like, there's also like maybe we could, like I know there are other people who are probably hungry at this time of night. Do we have to take a bite first though? Like, do we,
absolutely.
Oh.
If you're caressing a horror.
Oh, right.
Gotta take a
Yeah.
bite.
I'm gonna take a bite.
So let's hear caressing a horror again.
Yes. When you caress a horror, roll plus blood. On a hit, the horror is swayed by your stroke. Direct what was intended for you to another victim in the house.
Deal.
Oh, I don't have any bonuses on blood.
It's better than a -1.
That's true.
Oh no.
5.
Deal. So as you bring the spoon up to your lips and you taste it, it's a stew that's quite delectable.
Okay.
And you look at him and he's drooling. And he kind of steps around the bench and you can see that he has a massive erection. As he approaches you, he comes up behind and he starts to rub your shoulders.
All right. I'm
As
very much reacting to this, so I think it's
shivering
fair.
in fear.
I think it's fair that I
Okay.
do that.
As he presses himself against your back while you're sitting on the chair. Tell me,
He's so sweaty.
He's so sweaty
Yeah.
and drooly.
tell me, shivering fear again.
Oh. When you shiver from fear, name the thing that you are most afraid will happen. The groundskeeper will tell you how it's
Oh.
worse than you feared.
You caressed a horse, so you can't even.
Oh,
you're
you have to
passing the
pass
ring
it.
already.
Oh.
Okay, it's been a minute. Hey, Virgin, want to deal with this dude?
Want to deal with this situation?
I mean,
You already
I
had to do
also
the-
shivered with fear.
Yeah, I mean, first the vines, now this dude.
This is still the resolution of caressing a horror, though.
Great.
Technically,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah. So just give me a second, then you
Yes.
can pass the ring.
You take care of you, then we'll go.
As he starts rubbing himself, as he starts rubbing you, you can hear him softly groaning with pleasure, and you hear the soft thuds coming from the oven, but he seems to pay no mind to it. It almost sounds like they're approaching the door to the oven.
Are you cooking something? And I walk over to the oven.
As you cannot get up. He holds you still. Oh, I ain't cooking. Well, I'm working on something.
I'm kind of hoping that maybe we can distract him long enough for all of those weird immortal kids to come out.
But I don't know if they can open the door from the inside.
Yeah, I did shut that oven door.
Yeah, he is pressing himself deep into your back and moving.
Oh, Martin.
I like how all three of you are like, no. You're just like leaning forward. All right, so you do hear the oven door start to open, and you do obviously. If you were to distract him, there might be time for the kids to escape the oven. What do you do?
Do we still have our fire poker?
We probably set that down, I'd say.
We have our stew in her hand.
It's not hot though. It won't do anything if we spill it on his face.
Oh, it's a cold stew. That's worse.
And so he kind of leans in, and you feel the drip of drool on your
Ew.
shoulder.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Hold on.
I want him to stop talking for just a second.
We need to start talking so he stops.
Ew.
You feel the soft, hot.
No, we said
wet
for you to stop
drool
talking.
until Feef starts.
I think what we need to do is lean in a little bit.
Ew, no.
Listen, I know. Listen, I was the one that said we should do this.
I know you did.
You got real soft skin.
I turn towards him.
Okay.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah, clear your throat though.
Is this the place for something like this to happen? I'm the lady of this house.
Ain't nobody know what happens in the kitchen. And he grabs your ass.
Ew.
And he brings him, like, because you're facing him now. Mm-hmm. And so he grabs you and kind of pulls you in to where you can smell the sweat and spices and just rot of the kitchen on him.
Okay.
And he leans in and he starts to slime kiss your neck.
Okay, I turn and start pushing the pies off of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just I'm clearing off the table.
Ew.
Pushing.
And
clearing.
He looks, and at first he's like kind of mad about the pies, and then you see him lick his lips. That's a shudder with fear for sure. If I've ever seen one in my life.
Sorry if I just blew out your mic with that laugh.
All right, let's shudder with fear now.
I mean, name the thing you're most afraid will happen. The groundskeeper will tell you how it's worse than you feared. Keep the ring and choose 2, or pass the ring and choose 1. I think at this point I'm going to pass the ring.
Okay.
I've done as much as I'm gonna do. But I think the one I choose is it has the bride in its clutches right now, because that's what's happening.
Okay. Deal.
The thing I fear most is that he's gonna take my clothes off and
Deal.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how it's worse.
Yay!
Yeah. So you push the meat pies off the table, and he starts just licking his lips hungrily. And he says, "It's got benefits working in the kitchen." And as he starts to like pick you up onto the table, and he says, "We don't cook all this by ourselves. We have hands to help us." And the door swings open, and 2 more guys walk in. One that's very tall and lengthy. Another one that's very short, stubble, shaved head. And they come in, very brutes of men, and they gather around the table, cornering the bride atop the table. But at this point, you hear soft footfalls drop out of the oven, and you see tiny, charred black children start to cross behind everyone as you feel your body being groped and harassed and pinched as your dress is being torn and ripped at.
Ew.
And he says, "The master, he don't mind if we share a little bit. We've never had lady before. We've only had the other servants."
Ew.
As your wedding dress is ripped.
Can I dirty myself with violence? Because this can't get any worse.
I was like, one of us has to.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Are all the kids out? Do we, like...
So they're in the progress of running out, yeah.
Okay. I very much want these kids.
All 4 of them are out of the oven.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can run.
Yeah. But they're all black-skinned. You even see, like, embers kind of smoking. Their hair is burnt and charred. Their clothes are ratted.
I'm very much attached to these children.
Am I rolling?
You're dirtying yourself with violence.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a roll.
Come on.
Oh, no.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh how.
Oh boy, oh how.
Oh, be a plus minus blood, actually. No,
It's
a
current
plus
criminality.
so I got a whopping 4.
Right. Yeah.
And this is yours now,
'Kay.
but we have to finish what
So-
I've started.
Here's what happens. This is getting out of hand really quickly. You can escape their clutches. but you put the kids in the spotlight. Or you persist with the distraction, buying the kids all the time they need to escape. And as you start kicking and struggling, all three men start to laugh. Oh, she's got a little fight in her.
I mean, I would like to escape.
We have to protect those children.
Mm-hmm.
Are they even real children, though?
One of
Or are
them
they, like,
slaps your face.
Is there...
supernatural
Take
children?
one trauma.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, you see, I've broken now.
Hey, I gotta flip this thing over.
Is that what happens right
So
now?
the
Do I get to
the
read
mother
this
shatters. Okay, so we're going to open the book and find out what happens when people shatter.
Do I get to flip mine over
In
and
a
read
second,
it?
yeah.
Okay, I'll wait.
Uh-oh.
So as you get slapped, you kind of feel your cheek immediately flush with red. And then you see these kids, and they're like almost to the door. And then you feel one of them punch you in the face. And they're all laughing and just drooling. And they're just taking off their clothes and getting ready to do unspeakable things. You feel in this moment, this is as much as you can give. As your mother, as the caring one, as the one who will go out of her way for those who need it. You feel this portion of the bride break. Flip your sheet over.
Nice and black.
You will have to read the passage in white. Please do so.
We are no longer whole, our connection is severed. Our mind is fragmented, our deepest fears are exposed. Our blood feeds the horrors, and I welcome them.
What happens what is the last thing the sisters feel when the mother disappears as the bride breaks and fragments?
Am I about to cry, Martin? What are you doing to me?
I think they would feel like, I don't know, almost empty, because I've already given all I can. So it's just a big hole, like a vacuum.
Deal. All right. So the kids clear the door. You guys feel the empathetic aspect of yourself punched in the face and fracture and shatter. Pass the ring. Oh, you have the ring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, do I.
What happens? What do you do?
I'm gonna dirty myself with violence. Are you even kidding me? The one part of me that was empathetic towards this is gone.
Deal.
Like, I'm gonna try to find that fire poker.
Deal.
And I'm going to try to mutilate them. There's no sympathy at all. Okay. I'm dirtying myself with violence. Okay.
Deal.
I got a 10.
And it's with
Plus 1, so it's
carnality.
11.
So an 11. That is a strong hit.
And if you think I'm not mutilating these assholes,
Deal.
you're wrong.
So you have options, okay? One of them has a cleaver on his hip that is within reach. Or you can try and create an opportunity to get another weapon out of reach. What would you like to do?
Could I take the cleaver to use that as an opportunity to try to find the...
You tell
fire?
me what happens.
Okay. I want to grab the cleaver
Okay?
and use that. I'll probably...
To, like, swing
Yeah,
at them?
just... And
Okay.
then in that
So
moment...
You grab the cleaver and you just swing, right?
Fucking, yeah.
One of the tall guy gets his throat cut and he's
Good. And then I want to grab the fire poker. If it's... I'm assuming it's still near. We haven't moved much.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use that one with my other hand and just fucking in the heads.
Deal. So you reach down, you grab the fire poker, you roll off the table. It's the table between you and these two guys. They're hulked up on the table, clawing at you.
Gross.
And you take the fire poker and you just start jabbing, I'm assuming. Okay.
Cleaver in one hand, fire poker in the other, just going nuts on them.
Okay. You spear one guy in the face
Oh,
with
of
the fire
course.
poker.
With
You
the
pull
throat.
out. Oh yeah, the throat.
Mm-hmm.
You start cutting at another man. He raises his hands to block it, and you just cleave all 4 fingers off, and they're just screaming in pain, and
Even if they try to run away, like they're dead.
yeah.
To
So
me,
so they're
and in life.
definitely disabled, mutilated. Are you done hurting them?
Can we go? This is enough.
Also, you have to pass the ring after dirtying yourself with violence.
I think one more hit each with the fire poker to the head, just the back of the skull,
Okay.
and then we can leave.
Virgin. These men are stumbling, disoriented, the verge of dying, horribly marred and maimed. As an outrage, as an outburst, any part of you that would feel sorry for them is gone. What do? They're shouting, "When the master gets back, you'll be sorry."
No, I won't. Like, do you think our husband that loves us was like, yeah, no, you should have let them do that to you?
No, I'm gonna propose a truth.
Okay.
What is the truth of this room?
It's me and you. I don't think that he would. I don't think he would be okay with any of this behavior.
I also don't. I think this is all these gross cooks, like, being disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I don't know what's going on with the kids, but them saying...
I don't think. Yeah, I just feel like this doesn't have much to do with Bluebeard. I want to take the cleaver, and I think the truth I'm proposing is faithfulness.
I agree.
Not what I
Like, how
thought
so
this was
sad
going.
you are.
Yeah. That the truth I'm proposing is that these assholes are working all on their own. They're gross. They're base.
They guilt people into being like, well, if you want to please the master, then...
Mm-hmm. And I think that I wandered into this situation, but I think that they do this to maids. I think they do this to the other household, but I don't think it has anything to do with Bluebeard.
Okay. So mark the last item of faithfulness, and we will proceed to the final portion of the game.
What do you take?
The cleaver.
Okay.
All right.
We had
As you
cleaver and scissors, and
Yeah.
what did we take?
A
The
feather.
marble.
And a marble.
Yeah.
so as you exit the kitchen, bloody, beaten, your dress is ripped to shreds. The kids are nowhere in sight, but every shadow that moves, you think you see them. In the darkness, their embers and their smoking. As you're running frantically away from those monsters in the kitchen, you trip and you fall on scraps of your dress that have wound around your ankle and tripped you. As you stand up, you see a small door, very simple in nature, something foreboding about this door. It has a very simple key lock and keyhole, and you know in your bones that this door is the key. This door is the recipient of the key that you were told not to use. Now you have a choice. As a faithful bride, you may choose to either enter the room knowing that Bluebeard loves you enough, that he will understand after the night you've had in his manor with him gone. Or your curiosity overcomes you, but you remain loyal. But with your curiosity out of control, your hysteria, you can look through the keyhole. Now ultimately, the Animus has the final choice because she is the ring bearer. However, the Virgin does get say. The mother does not.
I think there's something to be said that it could be the only room that we would feel is safe in the house. Because if we're not allowed to go there, then nobody's allowed to go there. We've had to deal with creeps in every room.
And that's the thing, is we've had to deal with a lot of, like, almost supernatural stuff, but, like, I'm more afraid of the people at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, are those just horrors that the house has created for us?
Right.
Or...
And, like, I never expected that...
That we'd be faithful?
Yes. But at this point, like, after everything that's happened, like, he's the only beacon of hope that we have right now. Because we do know that he loves us. Can we go over what we've proposed so far for truth?
100%.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want that makes you get to that decision.
So the first one, we had surmised that she had died in childbirth, and we decided to be faithful. Mm-hmm. The second one, we decided that he wanted no male heir, and so he was killing kids, and we decided to go disloyal.
Mm-hmm.
We had the previous wife had some sort of eating disorder, and was sick, and that wasn't his fault, so we were loyal. The next one was that he brought back people, and she took them, and she made skin suits. And then obviously the last one that we just did was that, I mean, at least though we've decided that those people aren't really with him, quote unquote. So I think we need to talk about the two that we did disloyal. Because I think that's going to choose whether or not.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
This is a question for you to answer. I'm not leading you anywhere. Has he not shown you that he would do anything for a wife? Your family needed help.
Right.
I think the two disloyal ones make me more fearful to open the door than anything.
Right.
And the faithful ones make me trust him more. If it was my decision purely, if I had the ring, I would not go in there.
Okay.
I'm okay with looking in the keyhole.
Right.
But, like, I don't want to go in any more rooms.
Right.
The hallways seem chill.
Right. I will say, out of the two disloyalties, I think that skin suit one could also be chalked up to he could be bringing people back as servants and she's taking. Like, that's another one where it's just like these crazy people in the house are just doing whatever they want. And so, like, I would say that there's one horrible disloyalty and 4, this is terrible, everything about this is terrible, but he still loves us.
So what is the decision, Animus?
Is it either go in or leave?
Either enter the room or look through the keyhole.
Okay, so the keyhole is
a faithful outcome.
Let's look through the keyhole.
Is that the choice you make?
Yep.
Okay. So I have a list of questions, and Jenny is welcome to participate as well.
Okay.
We
You're
are
back.
we are concluding our story.
Okay.
Okay. You guys look through the keyhole. You gonna be okay, Fred?
It's been a very...
We look through the keyhole. All right. So these questions are for everyone to answer, but I would recommend maybe you guys come to a conclusion as a group. What did the bride lose when she saw the horrors through the keyhole?
Well, part of her brain. Part of her psyche, I should say.
I think...
And this is specifically
Okay.
leading into the final room.
Is it decided what we've seen?
It is very inline. Usually in the fairy tales, the chopped off heads of the brides. But looking through the keyhole, it's not entirely clear.
Okay, but
there are horrors in
right.
that you can witness. And in fact...
Those brides are in that room regardless of whether we looked at
yes,
them or not. Okay,
yes.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah. So actually, you see brides you see former brides. In fact, some of them that you recognized from the other rooms. But what kind of stays with you is that you see that all of their lips have been cut off. And you just see teeth framed horridly by their cheeks. Once again, what did the bride lose when she saw the horrors through the keyhole?
Any sense of security that she would have had.
Yeah.
When she was like, this is the one person I can trust. I'm gonna look in. And then realize that, no.
And you almost feel your lips begin to ache.
Almost
Something-
like any sense of optimism is gone.
Hope.
Yeah.
Hope, yeah.
Well, and that was one of the first things you gave him. Was a kiss. Your first kiss. It appears as though he keeps those. What loving impulse kept the bride from going into the room? Once you saw through the keyhole, these lipless smiles cut into the brides, cut into the wives. These women didn't understand Bluebeard, did they?
It's gotta be like,
What loving impulse kept the bride from going into the room?
she's gotta be different, right? Like,
Yeah.
look at all of these crazy people we've encountered. We're not like that. He would never do that to us.
So they made mistakes. They were impure. How did Bluebeard reward you for remaining so loyal and not ever going
murdering
inside?
us.
God, he probably treasures the hell out of us, right?
How did he reward you? What did he give you as
Once
a
he
token
came
of
back?
loyalty?
Like, he's come back.
This is concluding the bigger picture of the story, so yes.
This all feels bad.
I almost think like he gave us a room.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you're right. You did it.
Gave us a room to do the things that we like to do, like we made a tie.
Yeah.
The freedom to leave that room if we wanted to. But we didn't want to. Because it's our room.
Well, that kind of answers the next question. What is the bride's favorite room to spend her days in?
The one that, yeah. Because that makes sense. That's what he would do.
So, what in that room is so liberating, provides you with freedom, and inspires you to be loyal?
I think there's a big window.
Yeah.
That where you can even see your old farmhouse.
Even if it's just like our imagination, but like we can see land. Like what else would be in there?
Could it potentially be that he doesn't have a key to the room? We have the key. He doesn't have it on his ring of keys.
I like
That is
that.
our
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Deal. And the final question. How does the bride cope with the horrors that she spied through the keyhole?
Oh boy.
Essentially, I think this question is leading up to how does the bride eventually become corrupted and twisted, living in this house?
I think she copes because she thinks she's better than all of the other ones.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, well, maybe they deserved that. Because going through, she saw the corruption of all of these different people she encountered. And
Almost
she,
like pride.
yeah, like,
Okay.
I'm not like them, so I'm fine. And then I think she latched on to that pride. And that could have been what ended up corrupting her, was her self-respect for not being like the other ones, which turned her into one of the other ones.
Deal. All right, that is our questions. That is our conclusion of Bluebeard's Bride.
What a bummer.
He returned back from his trip early, saw that his wife was loyal, trusting.
Different.
She was on the mend. She had a bit of a rough first night, but he embraced you and kissed you deeply and ensured you that no harm would ever come to you in this house. That you are safe in his embrace. That will conclude our one shot of Bluebeard's Bride. If you had a good time, I don't know what the hell you watched. No.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe. No.
It feels
So,
bad.
anyways, yeah, thanks for joining us. I hope that you appreciated the storytelling and the sheer amount of trauma that went through this adventure. Please don't hate me. This is not who I am. Anyways, thank you so much. We hope that you enjoyed, and we will see you again next time for more adventures. So until next time, tell a story, share an adventure.
It feels bad.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was like there's no happy ending, but I sure didn't want to become like that. Was never. I was just like, yeah, no, we don't like that dude. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, I guess we're faithful.
Anyways, I really want to thank you guys for giving this a chance.
That was fun. Shit.
I know that it dealt with some pretty heavy stuff, but I hope that you guys thoroughly enjoyed the kind of horror portion of the evening.
That was fun.
I know that it's kind of hard to process all this, and it was very outside of comfort zones, stuff like that. Did you guys at least enjoy yourselves?
Yes.
Did you
Yeah,
not
I thought it was
regret?
fun.
Okay.
I do think that we went through that first room too fast,
Yes.
but we definitely got better at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that was also my first time doing anything like this. And it was just like, you get to go first, and also here's a bitch giving birth to birds. And I was like, all right, well, we're out.
We need to go. We need to go.
Yeah, that one was definitely rough. And I'll take a lot of the responsibility on that one.
No,
worries.
it's on.
This is us learning the game.
Yeah,
that's
it's
bound to happen.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that was the biggest thing was just we got more and more comfortable with.
And I think even starting out with a woman who gives birth to birds that immediately die is like, oh shit, okay, that's what we're gonna do. This is a fucking game.
Well, and
okay.
it seemed like I was like, I have a pretty good handle on this lady, and all she's gonna do is just keep having bird babies.
Yeah, I don't need to be.
I'm
here.
out.
Yeah, I think we got more comfortable staying in the rooms for longer as we went on because we're like,
Yeah.
Almost too comfortable by the kitchen. It's just like, oh god, we need to go.
I don't know. You use humor and laughter as a coping mechanism. When I watch horror movies, I laugh a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if that is going to be problematic for people watching, if that's going to be bothersome.
If they're watching our channel by now, I'm pretty sure they know that's one of our coping mechanisms for everything.
For playing, it felt really good.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I said, I don't know if that would be an issue.
So here's a wacky question, and this isn't an invitation, it's just a question. Would you play this again?
I think so.
I think so. I think I would choose a different character, just because I don't think I necessarily played mine as well as I could have. But that's not me. That's my role playing for the character that I chose.
I disagree, but...
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I would play it again. I would definitely want to give it another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all the skin crawling and stuff?
No, I thought it was. I thought it was a lot of fun. I do think that it's hard to not make jokes though, because it's just
Yeah,
and I think that's more for
just
the
part of it.
I'm not upset by the amount of jokes we made or anything.
Okay.
We did serious when we needed to. We laughed in between the scenes, which is perfectly healthy for sanity reasons. Yeah.
Right.
It's hard for me to do this kind of stuff because I'm not allowed to make the jokes that I make out of everything else we play.
Yeah.
I'll make some stupid joke like we're vines deep into this adventure. That's the kind of jokes that I want to make, but I can't because I also have, every single time I do that, I get farther away from making you guys go, oh God, no, this is not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely would play it again. I think it has a lot of replayability because it's just, you just get to decide what kind of creepy horrors are going to be in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't touch most of those rooms.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We only did 5. Which good job on us for at least getting to 5.
Yeah, you guys played a full game of Bluebeard's Bride.
Yeah.
Yep. And then plus two, if you play it again, you get to get a different outcome usually, or something like that. So, yeah.
Different keys, different rooms, yeah.
And I mean, making the bride could be a much different person.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, where we played with 3 different aspects. Like, if the Fatale and the, what was the other one?
Witch.
The Witch. Like,
Yeah.
if they're
those are
involved.
both very bold personalities.
Right.
Yep.
No, I think this was a good middle of the ground, bold but not meek character.
Welcome back to Nerds and Stuff. My name is Martin Baker, your host and groundskeeper for the conclusion. Oh, we're gonna have to do that again.